The Puppet Tool. In my opinion, this is a more versatile tool than Mesh Warp for manipulating an image, to make it animated, or for morph effects. If you saw the Mesh Warp TOOT, link in the description, you can see the difference between these tools. To kick this off, select the push pin, and the first step is to tack in the anchor points. Make sure to have plenty of anchors on a part you do not want to move. The Puppet tool automatically makes keyframes so every movement of the anchors gets recorded. Then move ahead another frame, move the pin points, and boom, puppeted. So the tree bends there and back, and if you just add a little shift in the last point for follow-through, it's like half the time of using the Mesh Warp to achieve this effect. We can push this further to make a dancing tree. One thing to note, the control points like to move in straight lines. However, you can edit them to move in an arc. So a big movement like doubling over can be achieved. Also, if you hold control down, you can control the movement in real time. I can't think of a specific use for this, but it does work pretty fast. Now, let's take a look at a more complicated tree. And if we use this method, we can make it both wiggle and waggle. Face morphs can be done with this tool as well. To pull off a morph, it takes a lot of little shifts. There are plenty of examples of morphs in TV shows and movies. Angel, Smallville, and Terminator 2 come to mind as I write the script. The Puppet tool is great for morphs, as you can drop the anchor points on the edges of features you want to align. Eyes, chin, forehead, ears and mouth and nose, head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. That was quite irregular. Let me get back to the subject. Once you place the points, you have tight control over the features. You want to plop all your pins for the first face at the beginning of the morph, and anchor the points for the second face at the end. Now, while still at the end, lower the opacity of the first face to 50 to see both at once, and shift the features to make them as close to the second face as you can. Now go back to the beginning to modify the second face. Repeat the mashing process. After finishing the movement, change the opacity back to 100 for frame 1 and turn on keyframes. Now go to the end of the morph, drop the opacity to 0, boom, morph. This effect takes time to accomplish, but as you can see, it's easier than many other things. You can make it more complicated, like going from a short-haired person to a longer hair. It is more difficult, but with extra effort spent, it is a more fun result. Compare just Mesh Warp with extra effort. Another application of the Puppet tool is to give movement to a picture, whether that is a single shot or to combine with other techniques to animate a sequence. Take this Nightlyman. We can make him raise the sword into position as part of a shot. Throw in a background, shake, music, and fire! And it can be interjected into something. There's another animation application I'm going to tack on here. If you wanted to make words take on a certain form, or for funny credits or something, you could just rotate, move, and scale the words to accomplish squash and stretch. But compare that to the direct control with just 2 puppety anchor points. Then one could do this to a bunch of words to make them interact. Another thing you could do with multiple anchor points is have the words do an animation like how I had the title do the worm to get on screen. There are so many applications for this tool. If there is an effect you're trying to achieve, comment below and I'll try to take a stab at it in a timely manner. I'll put links in the description in the future for any examples made off of inquiries. And remember, there'll always be somebody better than you, but you can be always improving. Super Fake Films. We aim to entertain.